What's up, guys? So as I'm making this video, the draft is tomorrow, finally. So here's my mock draft for picks 1 through 5. So this mock draft is under the scenario that no trades occur. So with the first pick, the Suns select DeAndre Ayton. This is no surprise to anyone. This is 99% a lock. So I don't think we need to talk about this one much. So with the second pick, I got the Kings taking Marvin Bagley. Alright, so this is pretty much a lock, as the Kings have recently said that they're all in on Marvin over Luka. The Kings at the moment don't have any real centers, and their big man scenario could be much improved. Going with Marvin would be the smart choice here, as he averaged a double-double of 21 points per game and 11 rebounds per game for Duke. Still, watch out for the Kings going with Luka, as he is, in my opinion, more talented than Marvin. With the third pick, I got the Hawks taking Joran Jackson Jr. This one is a hard one to choose, as the Hawks did say that they were leaning towards Luka recently. I do think this is just to bait teams like Mavs to trade up to get him. The Hawks are in desperate need of literally anyone. Their best player, Dennis Schroeder, is a playmaking point guard, which Luka basically is. So I think the choice the Hawks make here is going with Joran Jackson, who is the definition of an all-around big man, who could be great in the next few years. The only downside on him is the fact that he's a bit too young, and 18 will take some time to develop, and the Hawks have all the time in the world. With the fourth pick, I got the Grizzlies taking Luka Doncic. Finally, Luka gets selected. Although they have playmakers in Mike Conley, Mario Chalmers, and Tyreek Evans, I still think they go for Doncic. They could draft a big man to pair up with Marc Gasol, who is on the back end of his career, but as we all know, the only great center left in the draft refused to have a private workout with the Grizzlies and release his medical info. So they go with Luka. This is even if the Grizzlies still have their pick, as they are in talks with teams for a trade, the Mavericks being one of those teams. And with the fifth pick, I got the Mavs taking Bamba. In my opinion, I think this is an obvious choice for the Mavs. Dallas has been in desperate need of a center for years now, and drafting Mo would be an almost certain chance of getting the center of the future for Dallas. Mo's stock has risen tremendously over the past month, and I wouldn't be as surprised if an earlier pick snatches him. If the Mavs do pick Mo, the chances of pulling a center like DeMarcus Cousins in free agency diminish, but this is the safest way to go if you're Dallas. The Mavs may trade up though, and Michael Porter Jr. is also a guy to look out for, as the Mavs were very impressed with the private workout that was held. Now, let's get that high basketball IQ out and predict some trades that might happen on draft night. So my crazy prediction is that the Hawks draft Luka Doncic and the Mavs draft Trae Young, and we see a swap, including picks and players. Now, I don't think we need any introduction on Trae Young, as we already know he's a lights-out three-point shooter, and some say he's the next Steph Curry. Trae Young in Atlanta makes sense, as he could be their number one scoring option they need, and also Hawks Nation has been very interested in him. Obviously, Hawks won't take him at 3, so they have Mavs take him at 5, then afterwards do a trade involving Luka and Trae and other picks and players, which may include Dennis Schroeder. Now, I don't 100% know if another team might partake in the trade and what players and picks might be involved, but I just kind of said the basis of this trade. With the Hawks selecting Luka at 3, it protects Luka from the Grizzlies so the Mavs can get him afterwards. A trade that has been discussed before between the Mavs and the Grizzlies, which may include Dwight Powell, Chandler Parsons, Wesley Matthews, the 4th pick, and some future draft picks that will ultimately lead to Mavs having both the 4th and 5th pick in this year's draft, which we all want. May happen, as this is probably the Mavs' most likely outcome if they do decide to trade. Well, that wraps up this video. Comment below what you think is going to happen draft night, and if the Mavs are going to screw this up again, or will they get it right like they did last year. Leave a like and subscribe, because these videos aren't that easy to make.